They say there's a stretch of forest in northern Minnesota the locals just call the Pines. No trails, no campsites, no maps. Just tall, ancient trees and silence. Jake, an amateur survivalist YouTuber, decided to spend 72 hours alone in those woods for a video. He thought it would boost his channel. Extreme isolation, no cell service, just his camera, a GoPro, and a drone. Day one was uneventful. The forest was eerily quiet. No birds, no insects, not even wind, just the sound of his own breathing. That night, while reviewing drone footage by the fire, he noticed something strange. In one frame, between the trees, stood a figure. Tall, thin, not moving. Jake rewound, paused, then laughed it off. Day two, he woke up to deep scratch marks along the trees near his camp. Not claw marks, scratches, deliberate, symbols, almost tribal. He filmed them, played it up for the camera, pretended not to be scared. But that night, something began circling the camp. Branches cracked just out of sight, and then breathing. Not human breathing. Shallow, wet, wrong. He turned on his flashlight, and for a split second, caught a glimpse. Antlers, but not like a deer. Twisted, rotting, sprouting from a skeletal, sunken face. He ran back to his tent and stayed there all night, holding his knife, whispering to himself. Day three, he tried to hike out. His GPS was dead. The sun never rose. The woods looked the same in every direction. And then he found it, his own camp, but not as he left it. Everything was torn apart, his tent shredded, his gear smashed, and in the middle, his GoPro still recording. He picked it up, hands shaking, and watched the last clip. It showed him, sleeping, and behind him, crouched low, was the Wendigo, pale, thin as a corpse, eyes like black holes, its jaw unhinged wider than a human's ever could, breathing in his scent. That's where the footage ends. Authorities found the GoPro 2 weeks later, half buried in the mud. Jake was never found, but if you listen closely to the last 10 seconds of the video, you can still hear it whisper something in a voice that's not quite human. The thing in the hut. They told Ellie not to go past Hollow Creek. The woods beyond it were older than the town itself, uncharted, gnarled, and whispered about in the stories kids weren't supposed to hear. But Ellie was a photographer, and folklore made for great content. She followed the creek for miles before she saw it. A hut, small and rotted, hidden between trees that looked like they'd never seen sunlight. It wasn't marked on her map. No path led to it, but something about it pulled her in. The door was closed, but not locked. She stepped inside. Dust choked the air. Animal bones littered the floor. Symbols were carved into every inch of the walls. Strange, jagged shapes that made her eyes ache just looking at them. She raised her camera. Click. The flash lit up the hut, and in that instant, through the lens, she saw something behind her. Not a person. Not quite. A shape. Long. Thin. Bent. Wrong. Watching. She spun around. Nothing there. She ran, nearly dropped her gear. Didn't look back. That night, she reviewed her photos. Every shot was black, except one. It was of the inside of the hut, but the symbols on the wall were glowing, like hot coals. And in the center of the room was that thing. Taller than the doorway, its limbs too many, its eyes pitch black. It was smiling. The next morning, she woke up to mud on her floor, twigs in her sheets, and a new symbol carved into her bedroom wall. The police thought it was a prank. They never found the hut again. But some nights, just past 3 a.m., Ellie hears scratching beneath her floorboards. Not mice. Letters. It's spelling something. And it's almost done. The last circle. 4 college friends dared each other to perform a forgotten ritual in the woods behind Black Hollow. It was called the last circle. 9 stones, blood offerings, a chant to summon the watcher between trees. At first, nothing. Then the wind stopped. The trees shifted. When Sasha stepped out of the circle, she vanished. No scream, just gone. Panicked, the others tried to leave, but the force kept leading them back to the circle. That's when Leo remembered the final line of the chant. To break the ring, one must stay behind. Mark volunteered. Leo ran. Days later, Mark was found, eyes wide, whispering, 1, 2, 3, and now it's me. The others who were never found. And Leo? He still hears whispering from the woods at night. Sometimes it calls his name. If you like this video, like and subscribe. I have not uploaded in months, but I am back. Let me know in the comments what type of video I should make.